Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back with another video here. This time we're going to be going into our Swansea City, whatever you want to call it, career mode. We're doing with Bob Bradley. Just trying to get as many American players in as possible. Here you're going to see we're actually jumping forward to the January transfer window. Since I have missed a decent amount of time, I actually had all the gameplay recorded already. So we're just going to go ahead and jump forward as much as possible to the January transfer window, show you guys the transfers I've already made and that we can actually create a full American lineup to start off with. You guys are going to see Pulisic is in the team, Jordan Morris is in the team, we got a goalkeeper in Hamid, Miazga is playing at center back, we get Brooks at center back, Fabian Johnson is in the team, Michael Bradley we managed to get. Really big names finally starting to come into the team that we can actually start rotating players in. Zimmerman, player for the future, alongside Miazga, as Jonathan Brooks ends up, getting a little bit older. And then, so we're getting a little bit of the youth in, getting a little bit of the experienced players in as well to just kind of get a good balance. Obviously, right off the bat, they're not going to create our starting lineup. I'm not going to make it so that, I'm forcing an American side whenever we still have incredible players in the team like Fernando Llorente and Borja and or Bastion. Sorry, not Borja. Actually, I think his name is Borja Bastion, to be entirely honest with you. But, Key is going to stay in the team. We're still going to have Bastion on the bench. Fernando Llorente is going to play some games alongside Jordan Morris, switching games in and out. So definitely not going to steer too far away from the starting lineup until we start getting the players trained a little bit more. So you guys are going to see that we get a lot of offers for Jefferson Montero, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to sell him or not. I think we could have gotten good money for him, but nothing was really enough money for me to want to sell him off because he is still a pacey player. Obviously, Pulisic is my preferred option, but the better option is Montero, so we will keep him into the side at least until I can get Pulisic ranking a little bit higher, and then it'll make me feel a little bit better. So here we have a game against Liverpool. You guys are going to see the updated table now that we are in the January transfer window and pretty late on into it. When we go into this Liverpool game, we are actually sitting in 4th place in the league on 37 points. Arsenal sitting at 3rd on 43, and Man U is sitting at 36 in 5th place. So the table's definitely interesting right now. Our position is really good. If we can kind of hold on to that, it would be incredible. Liverpool, I think at this point, wasn't doing very well. I want to say they were closer to like 14th place at this point in the season. So obviously we were doing really well, and that is with just the basic Swansea side. So I mean, if you look at it, really Swansea has really good FIFA players, like players that will just do really well in FIFA regardless. You have to have the right formation, play and understand all the players correctly, obviously, which I managed to do pretty early on into the season, which definitely helped us out a lot. But just looking at the team, like I said, it is a very strong team, and I guess that's just kind of what you need to understand when you're playing with them. You learn the strengths and weaknesses, and it's pretty easy to, play FIFA at the end of the day. So we're doing well, obviously. Going into the second half, it is still 0-0. Liverpool is still a good side, regardless of what place they are in the table at the time. We're actually going to make a substitution and take, that actually just made me remember, at the beginning of this transfer window we actually sold Gylfi Sigurdsson, and then we actually managed to come up against Liverpool here. Gylfi Sigurdsson ends up going off and Wijnaldum comes on. Sorry, that actually I completely forgot about that. Gylfi Sigurdsson ended up leaving Swansea City. We sold him off to Liverpool, and that gave us a lot of the money that we needed to bring in a lot of the big name players that we wanted to. We managed to grab a goal a little late on here with Nathaniel Dyer. In the 60th minute, we grab a goal to go ahead. So we had made a couple substitutions at that point, but nothing too crazy. Still playing with the majority of the players that you would like to see. Bradley looks like he was playing pretty well in that CDM position that we had him in. He was doing well to win balls back. His passing was pretty good. We're still trying to work it out. I brought Gooch on in this game. another young American player that has a decent amount of potential. The midfield is definitely going to be packed. We're going to try to get Heidemann before the end of the transfer window, maybe Zalalem on loan or something like that. And then look at a couple other maybe midfield players even still at that point, because I think there are definitely a lot of options for us to expand with the team. So it's definitely something we're going to look at. Here we had an opportunity with Pulisic. I just wanted to run into the box, ended up not having as much pace as I'm usually, I guess, used to with having Montero on the wings. So it's definitely going to be a different kind of team having Pulisic in the side. So it's just going to kind of be trying to figure out how I need to play with these certain players in the team. Jordan Morris, a little bit of a smaller center forward. So also, you know, it's not like crossing the ball into Bastion or Fernando Llorente. So it's just going to take me some time to get used to the team, but I think this is the best way to do it, in which, you know, we're slowly working players into the team and not just switching to an All-American side as fast as possible. Brooks is doing really well in defense next to Fernandez. Fabian Johnson, obviously a left mid in FIFA at this point as we recorded this, but plays left back in MLS, plays left back for the U.S. men's national team at times. Definitely a good enough player to play in that left back position. So that's where we are using him right now. If I would have sold off Montero, chances are we probably would have moved forward with Fabian Johnson and put him at left mid instead, but we do still have the option of putting him at left back. Here you see we have only conceded 15 goals at this point, so that makes us the best defensive team in the league, next to Man City and Arsenal. So if we can keep that going as well, and I definitely think buying another center back and a very strong center back in that is definitely going to help us out. The transfer window is not over at this point. I should also state the deadline is actually coming up after this game. Here we managed to grab a penalty pretty close to halftime, and we're going to let Key actually take on this penalty kick. So Key's going to step up. He's still going to be a very, I guess, volatile player in the team, a very frequent player in the team, I should say. So definitely get used to seeing him in there. Obviously, once we do manage to have a full American side, then we'll kind of look another direction. But I do want to try to get Key to retire at Swansea, because he is a Swansea legend. We'll just kind of ignore that time where he went to Sunderland for a year. But he's, you know, that heart and soul of the team, and he's definitely somebody that I want to keep in there, play next to Michael Bradley for a while. I think he'll play really well there, and even once we, you know, make some other moves and we have some of the youngsters in there, I think he would be a pretty good addition to actually have next to those youngsters and still manage to keep a pretty strong team. Here in the 90th minute, we have one more opportunity, just trying to move forward. Jordan Morris, like I said, not too much pace, but still a decent amount of pace, so it gave us an opportunity, but put it on the left foot, his weak foot, and he just ended up shooting it wide, and the game ends there. So another 1-0 victory. A win's a win, but we definitely want to start winning by more goals if we can. So it's definitely something to shoot for in the future. Like I said, once we get some things more comfortable, then it'll make sense. You're going to see here we are signing Zalalem on a short-term loan with an option to buy at the end for 2.2 million. And then we had an offer come in from Hull City to buy Tremmel. We're going to go ahead and accept that. He's going to get on out of here because we have Hamid in there as one of our keepers. Bobby Wood is a player that I've been interested in bringing into the squad to play alongside Jordan Morris as we look other directions and try to get Fernando Llorente and Bastion out of the team at some point. And Bobby Wood, it manages to grow pretty well. So he's a player that we're actually going to manage to sign up there, transfer for $1 million with Fernando Llorente, and then paying his wages off. So I definitely think that's a good little bit of business there. I'm not too big of a fan of Fernando Llorente. Here, Alfie Mawson is actually going to be sold off to Dijon, or Dion, however you want to pronounce it. And then also, we're going to manage to sign up DeAndre Yedlin. I did not think we were going to be able to do this in January, but we managed to pull it off. 73 rated, but an incredible amount of pace. Definitely a player to look forward to using in the team. and it's definitely going to strengthen our U.S. side of things a lot. Heinemann is still a player that I'm trying to bring in, just trying to figure out what contract he wanted to have to come into the squad. 66 rated, 20 years old, definitely still another one of those players that is going to be vital in the future for the club. As the transfer deadline actually comes to a close, you're going to see we managed to have the Heinemann deal come through. That's 1.2 million, 15K in wages, nothing too crazy. Bring him into the side, and it's going to put us in a good position. Right now, sitting at a 76 rating for the team, not too bad. We're going to look at how we can actually rearrange this team now that we have some other players in there. We're going to be able to put Zelalem on the bench, have Bobby Wood go onto the bench as well, and then also bring in Brown. He's actually a youth player that I signed from our youth academy. I'll go into that in the next episode. I'll try to show you guys youth academy stats for the season, everything like that. So we're going to manage to go ahead and put Yedlin into the team. It's going to be Brooks, Miazga, Fabian Johnson, Zelalem, Bradley, Gooch, Pulisic, Bobby Wood, and Ruby. I think is how you pronounce that name. I always forget how to pronounce his name. And then Hamid, obviously, at keeper. But that is going to just be the U.S. team. We are still playing with our full strength squad. At this point, we still have Naughton in the team. I'm going to slowly work in DeAndre Gedlin at times. I haven't fully decided how I want to get him into the team or if I want to bring him in now. But chances are in the next game he will play. But because we were going against top of the league, I wanted to make sure that we played a team that we've been comfortable playing with for the season so far. So Man City has only lost once, and I don't know if you guys are actually paying attention to the table, but it's kind of funny. First place has lost one time, second twice, third, and fourth. So so we've had 4 losses at this point. Nothing too crazy. Definitely a good season. We managed to get taken down in the box again, and Montero wins us another penalty for Key to actually step up and take. None of these were really too crazy challenges, so neither one is going to result in a red card or a card at all at that point. So Key stands up to take the penalty, walks up confidently and smashes that into the right-hand side of the net. So 1-0 lead going against Man City. You know, we're definitely flying high at this point, making sure that that the first half of the season wasn't a fluke. We definitely want to try to push for top 4. Really, top 5 is probably more realistic. I don't really think we're going to make Champions League this year. If we do, that's amazing. If not, then it is what it is. I think I should also mention at this point that I'm a coach for the U.S. men's national team now, I believe. If I remember correctly, like I said, this was recorded a while ago, so I can't really remember if I ended up getting that offer or not, but I feel like I did. I think that was his career mode at least. So we should be able to start getting into that as well, which is obviously going to help with our scouting for the U.S. men's national team, and then also give us more opportunity to play with the U.S. men's national team players outside of just the club. So we're going to start growing players like crazy, I think, once everybody starts playing in incredible form, which I think they're all capable of. It's definitely going to give us a lot of opportunity to grow this team. I'm feeling really comfortable with the Americans that we have brought into the team. And definitely feel comfortable with the fact that they're actually playing pretty well alongside the foreign players that I have in the side. Obviously the Swansea players that were already there. We're not going to be signing really any other nationality unless I really think it's necessary. Obviously, if there's a weakness in the squad, the club is probably going to come first before the nationality thing is. Obviously, the majority of the team will be American, but if I see a big name player that I'm actually able to get because they're transfer listed or something, then I'm definitely going to go after them. But the main basis of this challenge obviously is to try to get as many American players in as possible, win the World Cup, win the Champions League, try to just get through all the challenges you can really think of, I guess, for both the national team and club. So we managed to actually pull out a victory here against Man City, which is awesome, giving them their second defeat of the season. So that's going to help us move up in the table, I believe, or probably maintain position, but Man City is going to be a little bit more reachable in our quest to stay in the top 4 and hopefully have somebody else win the league, because nobody wants Man City to win the league. That is going to be the end of this episode. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, I will see you guys later.